California, Los Angeles, Hollywood. The Oscars. The flowers are ready. The stars are on their way into town. And the crowds are already here. I'm here to see what it takes to make it here in Hollywood, to see if I can find out how I can grab myself one of those golden statues. Not wrapped up in plastic, but shiny and new, presented to me, Douglas McFarlane, Scots actor and presenter turned filmmaker. I want to know what it takes to make it in Hollywood. Back on Hollywood Boulevard, the next person I had to meet was an actor who had turned his hand to many different jobs in a bid to make it over here. Jim Nevo was especially interesting, as at one time he worked for the Hollywood press. I was intrigued to know more about this side of the town.
When I got into production, I was always back in the trailer getting the footage, so yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. When I moved out here, acting was always the plan, and you have to find a job that'll give you a means to an end, and I sort of fell into that, and then I got trapped into that. So if you want to be an actor, remember that. Don't get trapped into a job. But yeah,
you lose your freedom.
You do. But the thing is working in entertainment news, I was confronted up close and personal with A-list celebrities, you know, and you start to look at things differently. You start to look at it as a business, and there's not the whole deer in the headlights thing, you know what I mean? And so in a way it was a mixed blessing, you know what I mean? So obviously the goal is to make your living entirely on doing that, but you gotta have patience and you gotta be hard-headed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
If you were to give someone some hints and tips, what would those be?
Wow. You know how they say that there's never only one way? I think today the best thing that's happening right now is that you can choose your struggle. Meaning, when I first came out here, I had to mail out my headshots. I had to hope to get into casting calls. I had to hope to, you know, get an agent to like me. People are cutting movies on their laptops today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And really, at the end of the day, you can write yourself a role that it'd take years to get an opportunity to even audition for. And if you just sort of knuckle down and learn how to run a camera, learn how to, you know, maybe write music, whatever, edit, and that kind of stuff, at the end of the day, a motion picture, at least in this country, is looked upon as a product. And if there's an audience for your product, sell it. Yeah. You know, and you can make a living doing that. So, you know, it's cool because in choosing your own struggles, you can drive all over town and try to get into auditions, or you can just start hitting the ground running, making your own movies. So that would be something that I would have everybody seriously consider, because there's only 1 billion people out here trying to be an actor or a director, and really the marketplace is just saturated with people. So, you know, be an island of your own and start doing your own thing.
It transpired that Jim was involved in the same project that Sarah had told me about earlier, an independent feature called Rite of Passage. So how did he get involved in that film?
You know,
yeah, please. Yeah, tell me how you auditioned and how you got into getting the role and what the role's all about.
Yeah, well, actually, I wrote that. I wrote a 30-page short story, and I passed it along to my good friend Chris Dickerson, who's an accomplished playwright. One of the best experience that I ever had doing theater in LA, by far, was Deadline, the play that we did together. Right. And he's got, you know,
and Chris Dickerson wrote that.
He wrote that, yeah, and directed us. So it was, you know, and he's got a really great body of work.
Chris Dickerson, someone I wanted to talk to for sure.
I took a crack at writing, and I wanted to write myself a role, and you know, that pretty much came out of the fact that you can pound on doors for years and hope to get the opportunity, or you can just start doing it to play a role that you want to play. So I took a crack at it and I slid it across to Chris, and he actually liked it. And from there, we brought a couple other guys that got interested in it. We decided to turn it into a feature. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you can try to penetrate the Hollywood system and whatnot, or you can really today you can really do your own. We're going completely outside the industry, and you know, I don't have any ill will or hostility towards, you know, the big studios or anything, but I want to be able to do what I want to do.
Yeah. And you'll find a way to do it.
Yeah, and I will avoid them if I need to. You know what I'm saying? I'd be happy to work with them, but at the same time, I want to go in a straight line from A to B. I don't want to have to all of a sudden get stopped down and have somebody say, well, you know, we'd really like this actress in the role or this actor in the role, and change everything around. You know, so that's why I'm a big proponent of just taking the reins and doing it yourself. You know,
by the horns. I loved how Jim had shifted the Hollywood goalposts, scoring with what he wanted to achieve, something that became typical to hear.
Yeah.
Next stop, Chris Dickerson. Chris.
Douglas.
How you doing?
I'm very well. Welcome to LA. Welcome to Hollywood. Excellent. Yeah, we're out here on Hollywood Boulevard, right near one of the most famous intersections in the world, Hollywood and Vine, right up there.
Okay.
So in this town, you've always got to be something of a gunslinger if you're a writer and director. So I've got 3 or 4 other projects that were. So anybody out there with like $60,000 you're not using for a while, just let Douglas know. He'll be in touch with me. It'll be wonderful. Yeah, it'll be great. Yeah.
It's not a commercial.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, hey, listen, you've got a viewership. I'm taking every opportunity I get, no question. Well, I started as an actor, but acting, that's not my thing.
Okay.
Actors like to be stared at. It makes me nervous. I don't like it.
You've been stared at now.
Yeah, I know, and it's making me very nervous. Yeah, I'm used to.
I wanted to complete the circle and ask Chris to tell me about Rite of Passage, to see how the director promoted it. He did not disappoint.
I'm working on a film called Rite of Passage.
Okay.
And we've only been working on it for a few months. It started as a short piece, and we turned it into a feature-length film.
Okay.
It's a terrific film, a drama about today and about people's lives and about leaving a legacy and finding redemption. And it's a terrific project. So. I think we're going to be able to do it. So I came back to Hollywood 10 years ago, and wrote a few screenplays. A couple of them got produced, directed one independent film, and now I'm directing another one. And I like that a lot. So I may go back to the theater every now and then, but I really love working in film. It's a terrific creative medium, and it's got all the good stuff of theater without the bad stuff, which is no money.
Yeah.
In films, there's a couple of dollars.
It turns out Chris was being modest. A number of his scripts have made it into big films with stellar actors like Michael Madsen. So what was that experience like?
It wasn't the most pleasant experience.
Oh, right, okay.
Unfortunately. But you run into that in this town, you know. Nobody sets out to make a bad movie.
No.
But it sometimes winds up that way. Because people are, with all good intentions, are doing what they think is best, but it can sometimes get off track. You get so deep in the forest, you can't remember what a tree looks like, you know? And unfortunately, I think in the case of that film, that was one of the things. But it was a great learning experience. And it certainly prompted me to say, I didn't direct that, and it prompted me to say, if I want it to turn out the way I want it to turn out, then I do need to work harder to become a director as well as just a screenwriter. So it was a great positive experience. And Michael was wonderful to work with. He's a terrific actor, very hardworking, and he does a great job. Yeah.
And in this town, there's so many major businesses. How do you compete with them?
Well, you don't actually compete with them. You have to do things on your own level. And it's really not a matter of competition. It's a matter of finding the right team of people, putting it together. A lot of people, a lot of financial people want to be in the movie business if they're not already. And if they are already in the movie business, they're always looking for a good project, a solid script.
And I tell you what, they should call you.
Absolutely. Right away. We'll put the phone number up after this, too. Yeah. While I'm shooting Rite of Passage and in post-production with Rite of Passage, I may be going into pre-production with another film. So we'll see.
So, what would you say? There's a lot of people will be watching this who will be, just starting out in their filmmaking career. What advice would you give them?
There really are 1,000 different answers to that question, but my advice would be find a project that you really care about and make a movie. Don't sit by the phone and wait for Paramount Pictures to call. Get out there and make your movie. Making the movie can be done, and figure out a way to do that. And it's also a great learning experience. So yeah, make your movie. That's what I'd say.
So I loved Chris's maverick attitude, which he backed up with solid experience and wisdom about Hollywood and its industries. He was obviously respected and well liked in his circles, and I liked him too. But I was still looking for that snapshot of what it's like being at the top. People knowing you. Everyone.
I'm overworked and underpaid. I'm in no mood today. Wish time would flash by instead of crash by. There's nothing more to say. You can't expect too much when you're living life, and neither rich nor poor. But if you stop and think, you live and breathe. So I go ask for more, and it's all I wanted more. You can't choose the story of your life, and I know I've walked that road before. And as it stands, I could not ask for more. And as it stands, I could not ask for more. And as it stands, I could not ask for more, or for more.
Wow, that was an adventure.